This is my non-spoiler Scream 6 video, and the reason Friday the 13th is in the background is because there is no current video game for Ghostface, and I'm working off of a PS4 webcam. I'm on a budget, and I do not have a laptop or an actual webcam, so I'm using my PS4s. I recently saw Scream 6 the other day, and it's the shit. This is the non-spoiler review, so I won't go into details, but I will say some things we already know. Obviously, I will mention stuff from the trailers because it's the trailers, we've already seen it. That being said, my favorite part of the movie had to be the Ghostface shrine. The amount of detail, effort, and everything put into that shrine was just incredible. And I actually dug up my very first Ghostface mask. I think this is like a Scream 4 era ultra white, and I would have took it to the theater to me, but you probably can't see it because with this webcam it looks like I'm filming the next Blair Witch Project movie with its grainy ass footage, but it had some markings that I just couldn't get off. I'm going to purchase some fingernail polish to see if I can get some of these marks off, but this mask is probably going to be retired. It served me well since, I want to say, 2012, 2013-ish, I want to say. I also have my custom-made KMB mask, and unlike my Fun World Ghostface mask, this is actually latex with a cotton shroud. I probably will reach out to Birch Bench Designs to get his KMB, but this was made by a seller on Etsy, which I cannot pronounce his name off the top of my head. I will put his name in the link in the description because I think he still sells these and I recommend you pick up one. It's a beautiful display piece and it's my favorite. I also have my Buck 119 for this review because my broke ass can't afford a $100 knife that happens to be the Buck 120, unfortunately. This was 70 bucks at Walmart and I saw it and I said, what the hell? That being said, for a movie set in New York compared to previous movies that take place in New York, this one did rather well. Although, to be serious, I don't think you can really blame Jason Tate's Manhattan because they didn't have the budget and it was one of the last movies where they actually tried to make a good movie. I do like the character development. I like the inner struggle you will see with these characters. The character development was spot on, especially for Sam and Tara. I do like all the callbacks and everything you see in these movies. They don't feel like they were overused compared to how you'll see them in others. This one feels like there was a lot of care put into it and a lot of work was done. Now me, I'm biased, and I'm a little bit petty when it comes to the Scream movies because my favorite character was killed off in Scream 2. And you probably already know who I'm talking about, Randy. I was recently watching Cece's World, and he had a point. Randy was the heart and soul of the Scream franchise. He was the target audience character. It was definitely hard to see Randy go, and it's funny because 3 people that had major influences on the Scream franchise admitted killing Randy was a mistake, and that was Wes himself, Kevin Williamson, and Bob Weinstein. Bob Weinstein approached Jamie Kennedy at the Scream 4 premiere, and you can actually see this on a video on his channel where Bob Weinstein just walks up to him and says, "We never should have killed you off, kid. Killing you was the stupidest thing we ever did." And it was actually kind of cool hearing that. But this is definitely very reminiscent of Scream 2. Just because, of course, you already know it's set in college, so it's obviously like a serious nod to Scream 2. The killer reveal was pretty decent. A lot of work was done into it as well, I feel. And if I get a little slow, pardon me, but I'm trying to make sure I don't reveal anything. This is the non-spoiler review, so I can't say too much. Uh, I do feel like this one did not want to be a complete rip-off of Scream 2, though. So they did try different things. Honestly, I honestly can't tell if the body count's higher or not. I would have to rewatch Scream 2 to figure that out. One of the things I do like is that the rules are getting more elaborate with each movie. Especially with the whole term requel. Like, requels are getting, like, more popular, so they gotta establish rules for those movies. Like, cinema tropes are like the bread and butter of the Scream franchise, and you see it in this movie. One of the things I think was pretty impressive is that Sydney was mentioned. Like, crap. I apologize. But her presence was not missed. You don't really feel like the movie's missing something with Sydney just not being there. I apologize, but I think you already knew that she was going to at least be mentioned, so I don't think it'll hurt anything, really. But it didn't feel like the movie was missing anything from that. It was still a very enjoyable movie. I'm tempted to see it again, honestly. As far as the music goes, the score was pretty good. It has some very suspenseful scenes, and there was one scene in particular I'll go into depth in my spoiler review, so please hurry and see the movie if you haven't, so that I can share it with you in the next video. That made me very suspenseful, and I haven't really felt suspenseful in a horror movie since I first watched Halloween, and it was Annie who was locked in the laundry room. And you just see Michael stalking her. You see him through the window. You see him through the freaking door, through the sheet. And, you get really suspenseful. Like, I was really scared for Annie in that scene, even though I probably knew she was going to get it later. I mean, come on, it's a horror movie. People live, people die. It happens, man. But it was a pretty good film. I did enjoy it. Speaking of which, yeah, it's in the shop. Move the freaking popcorn. I'm sporting a Halloween shirt today, so that also helps. I wore a Crow t-shirt to the movie. I'm not in possession of the Ghostface t-shirt. I know, I'm a fucking hack, I know. It's just not something I'm currently in possession of. Anything else I can say about the movie is I'm excited for the next one. I really am. I feel like with all the effort they put into this movie, the third one will be just as good if they put at least half as much effort they did into this one. And I'm glad to see that that Scream's coming back, because I always felt like Scream was kind of the underrated franchise of the horror community. A lot of people are making comebacks these days. Chucky's making a comeback. Michael is. Ghostface is. Jason's going to get his comeback with this new Crystal Lake series that Adrian King is going to be a part of. The original final girl from Friday the 13th is going to be a part of it. I think she's going to be a producer. That's what I heard. I know Courtney Cox is the producer for the last two Scream movies. There were some heavy hitters, like you obviously miss Dewey's presence in this movie. You really do. He was the only one that you really miss in this movie is Dewey, because you keep on expecting him to show up. That being said, if you haven't seen Scream, I recommend you go see it. And in probably the next couple hours, I will post the spoiler review for the movie, and that will be probably a lot longer. For a non-spoiler review, it can't be that long because, I can't give any details away. So, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time. Stay groovy, man.